not drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
Hell yeah. High Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this. Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said. What the fuck?
Upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 190. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
Yes, he's back in Sarasota after his tour of the United States of America, really. He was all over the place.
First world.
He might have blurred it out, but I think that Nestor joined the Marines and he's in some barracks somewhere.
I'm in Guantanamo Bay right now, as we speak.
That's the next leg of his tour. Gentlemen, how we feeling this Wednesday? 190 episodes.
I'm feeling
Fantastic.
great. Feeling great. My Mariners got a 3.5 game lead in the AL West.
Nice.
Celtics going to the NBA Finals. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
Good week. A good week.
Good. Let's open up the show with our cheers. Nestor's sponsorship is blurred right now.
Yeah.
Ah, come on,
Is
Stella.
that
Can't do this to
BBC?
me. Why is Discord doing this? Trying to get sponsorship. Can't sponsor it. That's why they did this. Because I kept talking about sponsoring them, and now look.
Yeah. Bourbon tastes a little bit better at 43 than it did 42. I tell you.
Yes. We missed your birthday a
little
few
bit
days
sweeter.
ago. How was your birthday, sir?
It was lonely. I was just by myself. That's fine.
Well, that's
Yeah.
disappointing.
But yeah, I was able to watch the Celtics though. Win Game 3. That was a good birthday present.
I suppose it is.
Didn't think they were gonna pull that one out.
It wasn't looking so
Question.
good.
Since we were talking about Bremen for a second there, did you guys ever try Angel's Envy? I'm sure you have.
Of course,
Yes.
Angels Envy on the bar right now. I got a couple of them.
Oh man, I need to find a way to get a bottle down here, Sarasota.
So you just walk over to the liquor store.
Sure, any
Yeah,
local liquor
I
store.
They don't seem to have them down here. They just have rum.
Nice. I was about to say I could mail you a bottle, but I think that could get me into some trouble.
Guantanamo.
You might get a knock at the door. You know, you would think that you would have grabbed the bottle while you were here in Hillsborough County, but you know, either way.
You live and you learn.
Anyway, folks, if you're new to the show, we are an NBA and NFL podcast, although right now we're primarily NBA. If you would like to watch the YouTube version of this show, we live stream it every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We do that on YouTube. So if you click the first link in your podcast description below, you will be taken to the YouTube version of this episode. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be able to keep up with the show and all the videos that we post here on the channel throughout the week. So be sure to do that. We appreciate all the new subscribers that we get. With that being said, let's get into the first topic of the week, which we're going to do our playoff check-in as the playoffs continue to progress, as we're getting one foot into the NBA Finals, one foot still in the conference finals. Well, let's start off with the fact that Boston completed their sweep of the Indiana Pacers. Done with them. Goodbye. Good riddance. And the Celtics are now in the finals waiting for their opponent. Malin, I'm going to start with you. What'd you think about the way that this series ended?
I mean, just the way the whole series played out. That series could have easily have been 3-1 Indiana going back to Indiana for a game 5. I mean, it was just like game 1, game 3, and game 4. I mean, could you have more just drama and collapses down towards the end of the game? I mean, after game 3, and we're all watching game 4, and Indiana has the lead. There's like 6 minutes left, or like 3.5 minutes left in the game. After watching game 1 and 3, I think we all were like, yeah, they're going to find a way to blow this game. I think it was the first series clinching win in 25 years where a team held their opponent scoreless for the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the game.
Wow.
So, I mean, like, the defense shut down the highest scoring team in the league when it mattered most in the fourth quarter. So I love that you had Tatum and Brown both being clutch, both hitting shots. I still like Brown being the closer. I'm glad that we get some rest. This is the first playoffs we've had in a long time where, you know what, like when we went to the finals a few years ago, we were gassed. We had barely nothing left in the tank. I think we had 2 7-game series in that one. So going in there, only losing 2 games, undefeated on the road. You gotta like what you see in the resilience, not to just mail it in on that game 4 or that game 3, knowing that, yeah, you know, we're good enough to take these guys at some point. But to keep fighting to get those 2 W's to close out that series in 4 so they can get some rest. Looking forward to getting Porzingis back. So, yeah, very good series for us. And it's good for us to get tested like that. See what we do in close games.
Yes.
You don't want to just see you blow everybody out. You want to see some close games, especially in the conference finals, and see kind of like what the metal's made of. And I got a lot of faith going down the stretch. No lead is safe.
Yes.
The Celtics can come back from anything. So,
Yeah, I'll go next year. I think that, like you said, throughout the whole playoffs, it just shows that no lead is ever safe now because it's like a 20-point lead is pedestrian. It's so common to see a team just turn 20 points into nothing. So it's good to see us show some good fight even when we're down. And like maybe the first half, I think it was game 3, that first game back in Indiana, where we were down big for most of the game, and we just kept chipping at it throughout the second half. But it was really, really great to see late in all of these wins, besides game 2, Brown and Tatum were the 2 dudes who stepped up every single time. Obviously, Brown hit the big shot to send it into overtime in game 1, and games 3 and 4, Tatum just played so efficiently. It wasn't that he was just scoring all the time, but he was making the right pass. If he needed to score, he would knock down his free throws. Brown hit that huge 3-pointer in the closeout game in game 4 in the corner. Not that, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, they all stepped up too. By the way, Drew Holiday, man, talk about showing his championship pedigree when it counts. Like that's exactly why he's here, is to do what he did in this series. But it's so good to see the 2, Brown and Tatum, the cornerstones of the franchise, who like this is what they're supposed to do, and now we're seeing it now in real time. It seems like they're ready to make that jump and go win a title. So I'm super
it's almost
happy.
like Brown can't miss a 3 in the fourth quarter.
Right. Oh, he
Love
goes
to
into
see
a
it.
different zone.
And Tatum has a knack for getting the and one when you need it most.
Yes.
Like, he's really good at getting contact and down in the paint late in the game. Like, I think it was game 3, it was in overtime. Game 4, it was, near the end of regulation. But those and ones are huge. I would like them to do better than 14 of 44 from 3, though, in their next game. If they could They were pissing me off a little bit with the 3 in the second and the third quarter. I was like, you guys know that yes, that you can cross the line and take a shot. It's not like you can't. The ball can go in the paint at times. Not everything has to be a 3. There's not an invisible shield out there because they were just
Force field.
throwing up bricks, building homes for the homeless. The goddamn needy got a roof over their head now up there in Boston. Shit.
Yeah. One last thing before Nestor goes. I will give Indiana their props because even without their best player, they still give us a good run for their money. And that team has a bright future ahead of them. Like they feel like they're just probably another star away from being right back into a deep playoff run next year. So props to them. They got to see a lot of their role players step up. So Nestor,
No
go
props.
Yeah, it's no surprise to me that the team with like the best offense in the regular season, probably second best offense in the playoffs, and around there too when it comes to defense, they swept the Pacers. Yeah, didn't have Halliburton, but apart from that, you do have to give them their dues. How they played, I do feel like that the fact that they swept this team and there were a lot of close calls is more of a testament to how the Celtics have improved and what they can do in the finals, because that's what it's going to come down to, those clutch moments, and the team is being clutch, and not just Tatum, not just Brown, but Derek White and Drew Holiday. Like, it's insane what these guys are doing. Like, so yeah, I don't think there's just gotta give them full credit for everything they're doing. All the details, they're nailing it. As far as the Pacers and their future, it's hard for me to believe, just because I remember back 2013, 2014, they had Paul George and Roy Hibbert, and
Danny
they're like, well,
Granger.
they're building a team, and then all of a sudden it just
Lance
collapsed.
Stevenson blowing in LeBron's
And
ear.
Lance Stevenson,
Yeah,
and they're just collapsed. So I don't have much faith in the organization.
that's a good
But
point.
we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, man, I feel like the Celtics are going full steam. Whatever happens in the West with those two teams, yeah, I'm sure Luka's gonna be a dog and he's gonna be Luka in the finals. But man, this team has every base covered for me. So yeah.
I will tell you this about the Pacers. They are the East's version of the Utah Jazz. They're mid-market. They'll be able to draft some great players, but they won't spend the money to keep them, and they'll never be able to build the team around them because free agents aren't going to want to go there. Nobody wants to go to Utah. Nobody wants to go to Indiana. What the fuck is in Indiana? Hey, people in Indiana don't want to live in Indiana. They're just stuck there. Okay? They have no way out. So, I mean, their future could be a little bit bright because of who they have now, but they were the 5 seed this year, or the 6 seed, 5 or 6?
Around
They're going to
there.
be,
Around
they're
there.
going to be the 5 or 6 seed next year. Do we really think that if, like, Jimmy Butler was hurt, Giannis was hurt, Embiid was hurt, there were so many big people, Brunson got hurt, Hart got hurt with New York, like there were so many injuries in the East. Indiana was not the best team that the Celtics could have faced in the Eastern Conference Finals. They just weren't. And so they'll be as good as long as they have these people under their rookie deals, but they're not going to pay the supermax. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the supermax is going to pay upwards of like $252 million
That
over
sounds
5
right.
years. Come on, you could be rich in Indiana, but you're not that rich. That's just, we're not paying that type of money. Halliburton's going to be a Laker in 3 years. It's fine.
Shout out to G Money in the live chat. He says Indiana definitely gave Boston issues at times. I think it was Indiana's inability to close out games that cost them. Definitely. And then I think Boston matches up well against Dallas, especially if Lively is unable to play. Well, that's a good transition
And
to the next.
if we get
series.
Porzingis back, it makes us a little bit of a liability on defense, but we get more offense.
Yes. So moving to the Western Conference, Minnesota was able to stay afloat last night. They took Game 4. So now the series heads back to Minnesota tomorrow night at 3-1. Malin, what do you think of this series?
Have you guys seen the video of the guys that their boat sank off the Atlantic coast, and there was 3 guys hanging on to a Yeti waiting to get rescued? That's Minnesota, except they're never getting rescued. And them winning last night's game was the Yeti. But at some point, the Yeti's gonna sink. They're not indestructible. So yeah, I mean, great. You won 1 game. Dallas is still obviously the favorite to win it. No one's come back from an 0-3 deficit, so we are going to see the Dallas Mavericks. Unless you guys think that I'm an idiot and you guys don't agree with me, I believe we're going to see the Dallas Mavericks play the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. But you know, Minnesota did. Towns had 25 points. That's why they won the game. But he's unreliable. Like, that was like his last shot. That was, you know, before, like a racehorse running its last race before you put it down. He just has nothing left in him at this point. Coming back from this injury, he's been so hit or miss. You can't rely on him. And even Edwards. When you're 22 years old, you don't get to tell America, I'm so tired right now. Like, LeBron James would still be playing and averaging 25 a game if he was in this series. So you don't get to use I'm tired. Sir, like, come on. Like, drink some Gatorade, whatever. Like, hydrate, feel great. But he's been hit or miss, but he had 29 last night, so that's great. But do we really think Dallas isn't going to win this series?
Yeah, I would love to be wrong, because boy, would it be nice to see Minnesota take this all the way through 7 games and then have to limp on in to a finals, having played.
You guys just want this easier.
Back-to-back Game 7s.
Hey, listen, I just want Banner 18. I don't give a shit how we do it.
Right, I mean,
I'll commit genocide. I don't give a damn. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Karl Anthony Towns has to continue to play exactly how he did last night, which he played super aggressive, ended up fouling out, and shot the 3 ball exceptionally well. Ant-Man played well down the stretch. He had some big shots. And on the other side, I think, I also got to say, Rudy Gobert played well. His drop defense was a hell of a lot better yesterday than the rest of the series, where he wasn't just out on an island when he came out to the perimeter, and his feet seemed to move a bit better. I don't know, maybe just because Derek Lively was not in the game, so he didn't have to worry about him. But that's all what it took on Minnesota's side.
Kyrie has his worst game in the playoffs.
Right, I was going to say. On Dallas' side, it helps when Kyrie was, I think, tried how many? Like, he only had 16 points, 4
He was
dimes.
1 for 6 from 3 and 6 of 18.
Yeah, like, how many times do we think that's going to happen again? Probably not ever again.
And only 4 assists. That's a little weird.
Yeah, and Washington, he attempted 9 3-pointers. Absolutely no idea why he was shooting 9 3-pointers. That should not happen again. And Luka, I mean, if this was like his worst game of the series, and he still had a 28-point triple-double.
Yeah.
So I just can't see Dallas playing that bad again. And we're assuming that Derek Lively is going to be back. So, I mean, come on. Minnesota, it's nice. It's cool. Keep doing it, but good luck.
Yeah. Go game 7. I don't give a shit who we play. If you guys want to make history, make history. So the Celtics can make history with Banner 18. I don't care. You guys do you, boo. Because your Vikings aren't going to do anything this year, so you might as well keep cheering for something else, like a 3-legged dog right now with rabies. At some point, it's going to be put down. But I mean, I don't know. You got Karl Anthony Towns having the best game at the playoffs, and you shoot 14 to 40 from 3. That's not a good recipe for success. So let's just regroup. And Minnesota, do it again.
Yes.
Do it again, please.
By the way, G Money says Lively is doubtful for tomorrow. So, all right, Minnesota.
Hey.
Nestor, go ahead.
You can be doubtful the rest of the series.
I think the adjustment they made with Jaden covering Kyrie helped, but
Yes.
they will adjust. There's adjustments. I feel like either way they read that, they understood it. Now next game, I mean honestly, I'd be surprised if this goes to game 7. Honestly, but I
would
don't I
be too,
doubt
but I
Kyrie
don't want it.
will have another game like that. But if it happens, we'll get more good basketball because I have nothing. I've seen nothing but good things after round 1. There's like all good things. I love what's happening. We don't have the Lakers and Golden State in conference finals, so I'm very happy with this.
We don't have to talk about Denver.
Ant-Man is amazing.
don't
I
care
love
about
the
Denver.
trash talk. For some reason, I'm okay with the trash talk. It just doesn't feel arrogant. Doesn't come across arrogant. It just comes across like self-love. Love the dude. Ant-Man is a beast. Rudy Gobert, I've always said he's defensively one of top player. So whatever happens from here on out, they still, I feel like they have a better future shit than the Pacers
Well, yes.
because what they've built as a team. I mean, I know the
That's a
Pacers
hot
aren't going to
take.
build anything from here on out. I'm sorry.
This guy.
Um,
This guy.
but I'm ready. I'm ready to get to this finals, man. I'm ready to see Dallas. I'm ready to see Luka versus Tatum, and sounds
Dude.
weird.
Kyrie
Sounds
back in
weird.
Boston.
Yeah, that's the premier
Oh,
storyline to me. Is
shit.
Kyrie coming
That's
back to
what they-
Boston.
That's what they got. I will say the best thing about this Minnesota Dallas series, y'all see Kyrie playing in those suede brown sneakers with the goddamn tassels. Did you guys see those?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption
You know-
shoes.
I don't care if you have to have the brain cells to believe that the earth is flat to put those shoes on and think they look cool. But that's the ballsiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, that trumps any retarded thing that Russell Westbrook has ever put on pregame. You go out there in those, you are a confident man. You can be wrong in a lot of things, but you will never waver in your confidence if you're like, you know what, prime time, I'm putting these bad boys on. We about to show up.
None of
That
these teams are
is-
smart. They should just
That man got some respect.
put
for
somebody
me.
to argue with Kyrie over
He
Twitter.
doesn't give a shit.
And
Yeah.
you know what, Kyrie?
Start a Twitter beef with Kyrie.
I'm about to sign up
Swear
for
to God,
Twitter
you
right
guys-
now. Start beefing
In the
with him.
finals, just start shit with him. Like, hey, the world's not flat.
I'm gonna get a Twitter, and every single day I'm gonna tweet him a picture of the Earth being round, and just see if he takes the bait.
Make
Yeah.
a movie about Israel.
If we can. Oh God.
All right, let's move on. Before we hit the news, I want to mention that if you're not following us on social media, we are at AFR Sports on both Instagram and TikTok. And we need to be on Twitter so we can hit up Kyrie. But Instagram, TikTok, at AFR Sports, one word. Simple and straight to the point. So be sure to follow us. It's down in the description below if you just want to click either link, probably both. Besides that, let's get into the news for the week.
Hey, don't you have a Kyrie jersey?
I used to. I do not have that anymore.
Don't you? Oh, get rid of it.
It was bad omen.
Goodwill probably didn't even take it, did they?
They were gonna make me pay it for them to take it.
They'd be like, "Sir, that's gonna be $15."
Some blonde girl named Samantha's gonna be like vintage and buys it.
Probably Becky, but that's cool. That's close.
All right, so the first bit of news this week, the great Bill Walton passed away a couple days ago at the age of 71. Malin, we'll keep with you first. What did you think about Bill Walton?
First of all, I didn't even know he had cancer. I knew he was sick because he stopped doing the Pac-12 after dark games for college basketball. But you want to talk about one of the greatest basketball players that's ever played. If he did not have his foot and knee injuries in the NBA, you would probably be talking about Kareem and him being the best centers of all time. Even better than Shaq. I'm saying it, even better than Shaq. You're talking about a guy that never lost a game in high school. Did not lose his first basketball game midway through his senior season at UCLA. Went 7.5 years of playing high school college basketball. Never lost a game. Goes to the most snake-bitten team in NBA history, the Blazers. How do we know they're the most snake-bitten team? Because he breaks his foot and is never the same, tears his ACL after he's Rookie of the Year. Also, the same team that drafted Sam Bowie. Also, the team that couldn't put any type of team around Damian Lillard. And there was another guy back in the early 2000s, Brandon Roy. The man has no kneecap left. Brandon Roy. You know who I'm talking about, Jalen. I'm going deep. Going deep with Brandon Roy. Greg Oden. They drafted a 42-year-old center out of Ohio State. So, I mean, just the most snake-bitten team in the NBA. Clyde the Glide got drafted by the Blazers and went bald. I mean, he was so mentally insane after playing for Portland. He thought he was better than Jordan. So, I mean, he goes there. But in Boston, a resurrection of his career. It can widely be regarded as the best team in Celtics history, the 86 Celtics. And Bill Walton won Sixth Man of the Year. That's the best Celtics team of the Bird era, the 86 team. And he was Sixth Man of the Year. Won a couple titles. You're talking about a guy that was, smoking dope on the regular, free living, hippie lifestyle, but he still made it work in Boston, of all places, for a few years. Win a couple titles. He goes on. He was a great announcer. Always had fun. He called a bunch of finals, and even when he was done doing that and they moved him to Pac-12 after dark, he never, he never thought that he was above anything. He always just wanted to be a part of the game, and it was always just a lot of fun. Like, he cracked me up every time you would hear him call a game. I think by the time he was doing Pac-12 after dark, I'm pretty sure he was high every game he called. I'm pretty sure he was doing some weird shit. But just happy guy. Everybody loved him. But just one of the greatest basketball players ever. I never got to see him because I was born in '81, and you guys never got to see him play either. But being kind of a history buff with sports, looking at his career, the things that his peers said about him, not just his teammates, but his peers, about the type of person he was, the stand-up guy he was. There's just something about UCLA churning out centers under Doc Wooden. Kareem and Bill. He didn't get the titles. His career was hampered with injuries in the NBA. A lot of what ifs. You could put his career in what ifs up there with Bo Jackson, up there with Derrick Rose, of the type of career he could have had if the injury bug didn't bite him. So great man. 71 was too young. We deserved another 15, 20 years of Bill Walton. Great NBA player. Great basketball player. Hall of Famer. He will be missed.
Yeah, I'll go next here. By the way, G Money says he won a title with Portland in '77. Was the Finals MVP that same year. And he also says I actually got to see him play in person when he was playing for the San Diego Clippers in '83. That is a throwback. Yeah. Bill Walton, man, UCLA great, Celtic great, Blazer great. Didn't he basically stop playing basketball between his Blazer career and his Celtic career and was just kind of like doing his own thing before the Celtics were like, hey, you want to come play for us? Like, crazy to me that
how you
all
get him
that-
off the bench?
Right. After as banged up as his lower extremities were, the fact that he came back, got himself back into that kind of shape to go win another championship with that '86 team is just wild. But he was such a force along with Kevin McHale and Bird, like just those trees that they had back in the day. He fit in like a glove, at least it seemed like. And man, he's NBA royalty.
I think he broke his foot the year after winning the title in Portland. I think that was the year he broke his foot. Was the next year. I think it was the '78 season. And after that, everything was downhill. Then his knee started to fail, it overcompensated. He probably came back too early. I mean, if he played in this NBA with the medical doctors and the treatment you have now, he probably comes back better than ever after breaking his foot. I mean, shit, look at Paul George.
Right.
But back then, man, sucks.
Yeah, and also, I mean, without him, he has his son Luke Walton, who was a part of that Warriors coaching staff when they were in the midst of their dynasty. I mean, I think that you got to give that man a lot of credit for just the tree of handing down what he knows to affect even today's current NBAs. It's crazy. But
why didn't Luke win a championship with the Lakers too?
Yeah,
he has himself a ring. A little bit
crazy. Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, I mean, all the news that I saw surrounding what people were saying around him that knew him, they just talk about, yeah, he was a legendary player, but he was also such a great person, stand out. So it's sad to see him go. I mean, I didn't know this about him, that he had kind of like a stuttering issue, and this man overtook that and just won an Emmy. He was the top like what 50 broadcasters of all time, and he just, you know what, I'm gonna turn this into success, and it seems like he did that with everything else in his life. So just an amazing guy, and it's crazy. I had no idea because my dad has like a stuttering issue, and I told him about Bill Walton and all that, and it's crazy. But yeah, the NBA and the world lost a good one, because that man is a legend.
The only L that he wears on his jacket is that Nick Wright credits Bill Walton as the person that made him decide that he wanted to get into sports broadcasting. Sports, so. But we deal with Nick Wright 5 days a week because of Bill Walton. That's the only L. That's the only L that man ever took.
He can't win them all.
Nick Wright.
I have not even heard or thought about Nick Wright since February, and I've been perfectly happy. So I'll think
he's
about
still
him.
bloviating. Oh, he's great. He's funny as hell, but
He'll give a really bold take, and then you'll hear about him again.
listen, all I
So
know
come
is that
September,
First
I
Take is
will.
probably still the funniest show. And I'll go ahead and plug FS1 for. No, it's not First Take. What is it called now?
Is it First Things
that they
First
do.
or something like that? First something
Damn it, I don't even know the
first.
name of the show. I just know that him and Chris Broussard, they love to fight each other. And then the Patriots homer, he'd probably suck Tom Brady's dick if he gave him a chance to, like Nikki Glazer. He's on there too, but I don't know his name.
Yeah,
But
first things first.
They're just funnier than shit. Yeah, There.
All
it's a
right.
good show.
Yeah, that's one of the better ones for sure. Let's go to the next piece of news, which is Ty Lue staying with the Clippers. He is getting $14 million a year. He's going to be one of the highest paid coaches in the NBA. A lot of people thought he was going to go to, just across over to the Lakers, but he is staying with the Clippers, which to me just makes that Lakers job even more interesting to see who's going to fill those shoes. But what do you guys think about Ty Lue staying a Clipper?
You have LeBron James basically declaring himself as a free agent now. But I think what it really comes down to is Ty Lue is like, do I want to coach LeBron James again? Or do I want to coach an arena that has the most toilets? I think I'd rather coach in the arena that has the most toilets. I think he's had his fill of LeBron James and LeBron James led teams. And he has no interest in coaching LeBron James again or being under Jeannie Buss. I think I honestly I will say this, and I don't think this is really a hot take at all. But if you had asked me who wins a title next, it's going to, or not next because the Clippers have never won one. But I think the Clippers will win a title before the Lakers win another title. I think Steve Ballmer is a better owner. I think he's willing to spend the money in the right places. I think Ty Lue is the right coach for that team. I know that Paul George is probably not going to be there, but he wasn't there half the time anyways. I think that the Clippers are going to be a better destination for free agents in LA than the Lakers. I think that this is the time now where the Clippers kind of start to really kind of not overtake the LA market, because you're always going to have those LA fans. People are going to live and die with Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant and them. But they're getting tired of this current iteration of the LeBron James led Lakers. Even if he's not there, the Clippers are a better run organization, top to bottom. And so I think he made the right choice. And he was probably going to make, like Steve Ballmer was willing to pay out the money when the Lakers probably weren't going to offer him $14 million a year. So I think it was a smart move.
Yeah, I have really nothing more to add because I agree with everything you said. Why the hell would you want to go to the Lakers and that headache? Nestor?
Yeah, I think it's funny when I saw the news and read some comments over social media. People were just like, what does this mean for the LA Lakers? Nobody actually cares about the Clippers. But I will say this, it's some type of stability on that team because the roster is going to be a mess again. So, yep, it's some type of stability. He's all right regular season. He's better in playoffs, but it doesn't really mean much when you're coaching the Clippers. Yeah, maybe their next move in the near future is to get John Morant because they seem to have the Suicide Squad of like the NBA players every year. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
All I know is that they will open up the checkbook and spend the money to get whoever wants to come to LA. They will spend the money. Steve Ballmer is crazier than shit. And I'll just hype it up again. Go ahead and Google 1995 Windows launch. See that crazy ass man dancing on stage with Bill Gates. All you need to know. He'll spend all the money. He's the richest owner in sports, man. Jesus.
Last but not least, Bronny James is remaining in the NBA draft. He seemingly will not be returning to school. He's done. He's saying, yes, this is my decision. I'm going to be in the NBA this year. And yeah, he's going all in. What do you guys think about Bronny doubling down?
Well, I think it's twofold. One, This is a weak ass class
Mhm.
coming in the NBA. And you're only guaranteed like they normally say that the top 12 will be NBA starters in the first couple years, right? And then after that, like it's so much different than the NFL draft where you can go round 3
Yep.
and you could be a Pro Bowler. They're like, listen, if you're not drafted before pick 12, you're basically a nobody. But he's gonna go in the first round. Someone's gonna take him just for the hype, just for the media attention. No attention is bad attention when it comes to the NBA, man.
Yeah.
Even with the possibility that you could get LeBron James, somebody's gonna take him. I think it's interesting that he's coming out and saying that he will not sign one of those dual contracts that states that he could play on the NBA roster or the G League. He will only sign a contract that states that he's on an NBA team. So I don't know if that will scare some people off. But we know he's going to go in the first round, but that doesn't mean anything in the NBA. Like, he could go pick 22, and people are going to like touting him up. Like, Johnny Manziel went 22. Okay, shut up. But that's the NFL. This is the NBA.
Right.
I think only the first 6 picks of this draft even has the possibility of being an everyday starter
Right.
in the NBA. This is just the weakest class we've had in probably 15 years. There's no Wembanyama. There's nobody like that coming out right now. So the NBA needs the hype for the draft. They need this hype because there's no one else to give it that hype. So he's gonna go in the first round. It's just where's it gonna go?
I was just reading that someone was prospecting and saying that he really is like somewhere in the 50s. That's what number of pick his talent would actually get him, which is obscene to think that he's going to go in the first round. Like,
It's obscene that he's even a
Gosh.
50th player. He averaged 6.4 points a game in college at USC. He wasn't even a starter.
yeah.
So how is he even 50?
And
Right.
something else I do want to mention, I heard on LeBron and JJ Redick's, I think, most recent episode of their podcast, LeBron was saying that he basically isn't in his son's ear about his NBA career. And I'm sorry, but come on. Really, you expect us to buy that you're not giving your son advice on how to go about this? Like, stop it.
His agent is your agent, who is
Right.
childhood friend.
Come on.
Yes, come on. And how did he shrink? Wasn't he like 4 inches shorter than what USC had in the media guide? Like, eat your Wheaties, man. Come on. What are we doing? But he did have a good combine other than his height.
Yeah.
So people are going to prop up his combine of, see, he's got the talent. USC just missing. I mean, the propaganda machine is out. 50.
Nestor, why should the Miami Heat take Bronny James for their first round pick?
Oh, please take him.
I actually think we're going for Harden, so we have to
Oh, excuse me.
stay within our limits. No, I'm just kidding. Can't have all that talent in one team. Messes with the egos. No. I can't. I want the best for the kid. I hope he I hope he somehow finds his slot somewhere on a team and he becomes a good supportive player to the roster. I mean, I really do hope
It's just
that, because it must have some enormous amount of pressure on him when he goes to bed at night after all the BS that he, I'm sure he's trying to fight back a little bit, and defend himself. You can kind of imagine that's what he would want to do eventually. And the dude really wants to play some basketball in the NBA. So I get that. I get all those things. I wish no ill upon him, and I know there's some people going crazy on Twitter, but yeah, I mean, how do you, is it really fair when other teams, other kids, are in the mix and they're not getting a chance because they don't have the name, So it's a icky situation, but I hope the best for Bronny.
Here's the question I have for you two. You guys answer me this, and we can go to break. And I know that G Money will probably have some kind of answer in the chat of someone I'm not thinking of. But outside of Ken Griffey Jr. becoming an all-time great to a very good Ken Griffey Sr. who played on the Reds and won a couple titles, has there been like an all-time great that's played in the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball that their kid became a great also, or even like a really, really good player? Like, how often does that happen? There's a lot of them to where they go to college or maybe they make a pro team, but they don't necessarily. I mean, Jerry Rice's kid just got drafted, I think, or undrafted free agent or whatever. So like it happens to where like genes pass on, but how often is the kid better than the dad? It doesn't happen. You're playing Russian roulette, but you got like no ammo in the gun, basically. Like it just doesn't.
Right. It's usually one
We
way or
see
the
when they're
other.
good in college, right? Like college, and like
Yeah.
some people that go to like they play professionally, but they're
I
not
mean,
really.
Marvin
They're like okay.
Harrison Jr. has potential coming out of Ohio State, but he's got some big shoes to fill in the NFL with Marvin Harrison, who played for the Colts, obviously. But I'm just thinking, like, how often does it happen to where the son is not even better than the dad, but
Right.
has a really good pro career? I can't really think of a lot.
I feel like Asante Samuel's kid, he's been pretty good for the Chargers, but
Yeah, he hasn't been bad, but you don't talk about him nearly on the same level as Asante Samuel, though.
Right. I'd like to think in a couple more years he could be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, but I still can't see like Hall of Fame type talent.
I know there's role players where the son is better than him, like Curry. Like his dad was a role player in the NBA, and then Steph comes and like. But when you're talking like an all-time great, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just
that's what I
doesn't
was
really
saying.
happen.
Like,
so the deck is stacked against him.
right. It's
But you
usually
wish him
one
well.
way
I
or
mean, he
the other.
has more pressure at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah.
the pressure. God damn. So, wish him all the best, though. Don't have another heart attack. Let's not have any more heart problems.
Forgot about that.
Your
Damn.
money says Vlad Guerrero Jr. with Toronto. I don't even know what
Is he
that
better than his dad, though? Is he better than Vlad Guerrero Sr.? I don't know. Because he's trailing off. His last 2 years haven't been great. I know you guys don't know who he is, but I know who he is. His dad was great with the Montreal Expos, played on a few other clubs, and he's a really good slugger with the Blue Jays right now. But I think he's 27 years old, and he's already starting to trail off a little bit. His stats haven't necessarily been the same, but he is one of those. But even Vladimir Guerrero Sr. wasn't like one of the best in the league when he was playing his best in baseball. So, but that's a close one, definitely a close one. But yeah, it's just it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You
Well,
take
all right.
that elite sports specimen, and then you have a wife and pump out a kid, and he gets some of her genes, and it's not the same. Not the same. Start diluting that gene pool a little bit. might be it.
We're gonna go to a break.
Yeah, let's go to break.
When we come back, we will have
Let's go.
the great G Money with us, and we're going to be talking some
G-Money.
NBA free agency and what's up with that making its long-awaited return. So sit tight, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. had Sean Kemp, you had Gary Payton. What were some of your best memories of those two guys?
I don't think people understand how freakish Sean Kemp was.
Yeah.
As a kid, it looked like he was jumping over the backboard. I'm old, Jalen. Going to the finals, I went down to Seattle 2 times to try to get Michael Jordan's autograph. He was an asshole both times.
Do you think that Howard Schultz and David Stern were in the right in that time period for asking for that amount of money?
The Sonics again are the only professional sports team that had won a championship up till then. You know your team is leaving, yet you see the potential because they just landed a superstar that everyone knew he was going to be the best player.
Thunder come around in 08, 09. I was either a freshman in high school or like 8th grade. By the time I was about to graduate, they were in the finals. How much did that just piss you off?
When I say that I want them to go 0-82 every year. In fact, if you want to throw the preseason games in there too, lose all those.
When they beat our Celtics a couple years ago with a lot of the same core, they kind of thought that, well, as long as we just keep the core together, we swap out a couple of kind of accessory pieces here and there, we'll just keep running it back because the culture, the system, the coaching, that's not the case. You still got to have talent, stars, and keep updating your roster in order to stay relevant. They didn't do that. They continue to get older. They re-signed Draymond for whatever reason, let go of Poole, thought that they could just draft their way out of this. No, it's weird to think almost the same team just 2 seasons ago was an NBA champion.
I think it's going to be about a 36-14 game. Tampa didn't play good last week.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be like a 32-17, 18 game.
It's going to be close. Depends. It's not going to rain anymore. So I'm going to go with we're going to win by 10.
I'll be honest. I think a lot of Eagles fans are nervous right now. I think it's going to be a close game. This is the Julio Jones night. This is the night where we find out what Julio Jones has left in the tank.
You're basically saying Devontae Smith ain't shit.
You know who's going to score tonight? Turn around. That's who's going to score. Yeah.
I think it's going to be 21-24 Bucks. Jalen doesn't have A.J. Brown. He's going to throw the ball to Devontae, but
Bucks going to win it 27-23. Baker's going to drive it last minute, score a touchdown, take the lead, win the game.
All right, so he still thinks Baker plays at Oklahoma. Go ahead.
24-21 Birds, and I only think we win by 3 because AJ's out, Devontae's hurt, Jalen's hurt. We run the football, we win by 3. We go destroy the Lions when AJ comes back.
28-17, Eagles all
Did
day.
you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
He won the chip.
Right. You want to see what his trophy
He whooped my ass.
look at the unwrapped. Look at this bad boy.
That's tight.
We got some.
Very nice. A couple of bad drafts, but you know, the waiver wire.
Yeah, man.
You were
He was
clutch.
on it. Yeah.
Like thank Taylor for being friends without him. Let's go for the repeat.
We do a sports podcast. Okay. And I can't help but notice that somebody is wearing an inside-out neck jersey.
You know what? It's just a coincidence.
Explain what is happening right now.
Forecast was for rain. I didn't want the rain to fall on the outside.
That's all it is?
Because I love Dak. He's the best quarterback in the league. Big Mike's the best coach ever. Dallas's D is awesome. Yesterday was just unlucky. We'd won the coin toss. It was the Cowboys' way. It was all about the coin toss.
Let's talk defense. You're wearing the Cardinals hat. You don't get a say. Dan Quinn. I don't want him as my coach.
Oh, he's gonna be though.
I don't want him to be.
I heard a stat today. Green Bay has won more playoff games at AT&T Stadium than Dallas. Do you know if that's true?
It probably is.
I heard.
So you still love that?
No. Mike's got to go. Big Mike's got to go. Dan Quinn's got to go. Jerry's got to rip this shit up.
Who do you want to replace Dak then?
Don't say Russell Wilson.
I was going to just ask you, would you trade Russell Wilson straight up for Dak?
No!
I wouldn't either now.
You went Browns to Bills?
No, I was a Buffalo fan and a Cleveland fan.
No.
They were in different leagues when I was
So, well, they were all in the AFC. Oh, okay.
Scott Van Pelt.
Fuck the Bucks! Awesome! Thank you! Fucking Eagles! Fuck you!
Hold on, ramparts we watch of the free. Let's go, Bucks! We celebrate Dr. Who's legacy.
I hate you so much. Alright, kill with the sniper. There's so much man on man happening right now. Bird!
You feeling good, man?
I ain't worried, man. I'm gonna tell him the truth. We not worried. We go score in this drive.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield for game. His name is Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
the nigga got AIDS.
For my dark horse pick, Min-Woo Lee, baby.
Oh,
we're
shit.
going back. This is his year, man.
I will go Siwoo Kim.
Favorite to win
Siwoo Kim.
it.
Now I'm confused. Who did you pick?
Tiger Woods. He's plus 12,500 at BetMGM. Stranger things have happened.
Uncle OJ passed away today, so tonight we raise him on high.
He is going to be the NFL's first Gen Z quarterback. Does he have thick enough skin to be an NFL starting quarterback?
As good as he is, why would he work out when the past countless amount of Bears quarterbacks have not worked out? Chicago is not a team that's going to put him in a winning position.
The USC woman, I actually don't even remember her name because she's actually not that important. She's giving a speech 2 weeks ago. And she says that she doesn't think that Caitlin Clark broke her record because you can't duplicate what's not being duplicated. And she cited the fact that she used a men's ball and that there was no 3-point line. And I'm like, can we not just give flowers to people that deserve flowers? This should be a time for women across the country to celebrate greatness.
All right, my Celtics got game 4 tonight. Yes, sir. There's no way in the world my Celtics are going back to Boston tied up. Bronny James is declaring for the NBA draft and at the same time hitting the transfer portal. Good that he's keeping his options open, but I'm sorry, what team outside of Orange County is really interested in drafting Bronny James?
You're being hit by a Nazi panzer at that point. You are like a Nazi panzer rolling into France, and there's nothing you can do about it. The man is just a freak.
Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, great receivers. Those guys are young. They can play well. Jordan Love is doing an amazing job over there. And I feel like their O-line is top 10. So now with Josh Jacobs, he's a guy that can also catch the ball. They're going to have pretty damn good offense, and they're going to make the playoffs again. And who knows how more dangerous they could be. I didn't think they were going to win the Super Bowl, of course, but they're making some pretty good moves.
They're going to win a playoff.
Way better than my team.
Oh, we're back.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to G Money, joining us for another second half. What's going on?
You know, just sitting here watching the Mariners play, drinking some Basil Hayden dark rye, and getting ready to talk sports. It is that I tell you, this is some smooth stuff. It's only 80 proof, so it's not like you're doing like 120 proof or something, but it's nice and it's easy.
Like the I lie, low lie. That is.
Is that a nice frosted glass you got there? Do you money?
No, this is a glass I stole from the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. So it's permanently frosted.
I see.
Outside of their normal plates and forks and stuff, their whole apartment is outfitted with stuff they've taken from Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trips.
We look at it as a quid pro quo system. They take our money gambling. We take their other stuff. You know. Oh, silverware.
Right.
Okay. Dishes. Glasses. Yeah. I mean, find some decent glasses. I need to go into the high limit room and get me a really nice brandy sniffer again.
Hey, I still got 2 or 3 of the glasses that they give you your bourbon in on the casino floor from Aria, because they're nice and small and it's just enough if you want to drink it neat. Still got some of those, and when they break into big pieces. That's that type of glass. It doesn't shatter. Because I've broken a couple. I'm like, okay, it's like a NASA ashtray. It's pretty great. I like it.
I love that. I love that you guys just have your Vegas memorabilia in different dishware. It's good.
I think my mom steals forks, to be honest with you. I think she does.
And spoons.
She takes forks and spoons.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what she does with spoons. That's private.
We're gonna get
$29.99 will get you our OnlyFans site.
More than just feet, my friends.
Link in the description below. Let's get to the next topic of the week.
Yeah,
here.
my mom's gonna beat my ass after that. All right, let's go ahead and take our
Oh yeah. Before we get to the next topic, second half.
shot here. God damn. My mom's gonna fucking kill. You didn't even have the logo out, Nestor. It finally wasn't blurred and you didn't have the logo in there. We're never gonna get a sponsorship.
This one episode ruined it. All
We had one
right.
chance. Eminem rapped about it about 20 years ago.
Let's get to the 2024 NBA free agents, or at least some of them, and where we think they're going to end up. Now, I very intentionally left off LeBron James off this list, only because am I the only person that just does not see him leaving the Lakers legitimately?
I actually think he could. I'm gonna be honest. I think he could. Because he knows he's not gonna win a ring with the Lakers. I honestly wish that he would. Now everyone says he won't go to this team, but I think, and now I'm glad he won't go to this team because I'm a Boston fan. But him and Philly make a lot of sense. But for all intents and purposes, because his whole family's on the West Coast, he won't even consider someone like Philly. So maybe you're right. He's not going to leave because of the family. But if he wants to win another ring, he'll leave and go someplace else. Because I don't think the Lakers are going to be able to get any of these free agents to come play there. The Lakers are just that dysfunctional. So maybe he'll just keep pat statting for a couple more years and then call it quits.
I mean, are they dysfunctional because of upper management, or are they dysfunctional because LeBron likes to make team decisions? Or is it a combination of both?
But they stopped him doing that, but they're still dysfunctional. I mean, like Jeannie Buss used to get a lot of praise a few years ago. But she's widely known in the NBA now is like one of the least competent NBA owners. Like just makes boneheaded decision after boneheaded decision. giving LeBron James free reign with the Lakers organization, being one of them. So I don't know. It's probably twofold, but I don't think any of these people we're about to talk about are going to go to the Lakers.
Got
So
that right.
if he wants to stay there and keep getting some stats, go for it. Nobody wants to go to the Lakers now, man.
Yeah. Let's start off with Paul George, who's first here. G Money, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So Steve Ballmer's already said that he's not going to pay him more than he's paying Kawhi Leonard. I think they've got a 3-year, $158 million deal on the table. If Paul George wants to stay in LA, because that's where his family is, and if that's where he wants to stay, then he'll take the offer. If he wants a chance to win a championship, and if he wants more money, Philadelphia's the place to go. They can offer him max 4 years, $236, $246 million. It comes down to, what does he want? Will he accept less money and stay in LA, or go to Philadelphia and have that opportunity to win a championship, more so than what he has with the Clippers? The Clippers don't have a shot. They're the geriatric team. And you've got him. Harden is now a free agent. Westbrook. I mean, they don't have. They're sort of like what the Lakers did when they got Charles Barkley and Gary Payton and everything. You have players that were on the downside of their careers, but they had a reputation, and they figured they could win with the reputation, and they couldn't.
Karl Malone and Gary Payton.
I thought Barkley went there too.
He went to Houston. That was in like the mid '90s, late '90s. But when Gary Payton went to the Lakers, it was Karl Malone. And then they lost to the Pistons. One time for them. They went ring chasing and got nothing.
I definitely think that Philly is a very good fit for him. He'd be that third option alongside Embiid and Maxey. I could also very legitimately see him go back to Indiana. If he sees the ready-made team that they have there, if Philly cannot get him and they take somebody else instead of him, I think that the next logical place for him to go would to go back to Indiana and try and get a title there. But since, like Nestor said, this is a very reminiscent team of Indiana in the early 2010s, so kind of like picking up where he left off to finish out his career. But Philly seems like the best option for him.
I think that now, first of all, most of these players on this list would make sense in Philly. Because I think that they're the team that's willing to spend the money. And I think that Philly's the team that's willing to spend the max money on somebody more than some of these other teams. But I think Paul George would do himself well to stay with the Clippers. I think he'd be great in Philly. But I don't think he'll go to Philly just like LeBron James. I mean, you're talking about your whole family is in LA on the West Coast, and you're talking about going across the entire country and playing for Philly. Like, is that really how you want to end your career? But I don't even know that Indiana's going to want to pay the money to get Paul George. I mean, if they want to go all in, let's say they were to go all in and get Paul George, are they any better than a 4 seed in the East next year?
That's a good point.
Even with Paul George? I mean, so I don't know. I see him probably taking the pay cut and staying with the Clippers and hoping that the Clippers can get one of these other people that we're going to talk about because he has his money. I mean, you got to be an idiot to be claiming bankruptcy 5 years after you're retired. At this point, with the money they make now in the NBA, You just have to be a bona fide idiot to go bankrupt 5 years after you're done playing. He has his money. He's a smart guy. He wants to win a ring. I think he wants to win a ring. So I don't see anyone offering him the money and a better chance to win a ring and staying close to home than the Clippers. Like, where else would he go on the West? Like, Denver's not going to give you that type of money. No one wants to go to Minnesota. Like, Dallas isn't probably going to spend that money. I don't know. Mark Cuban's not the majority owner anymore, right?
Right.
He probably would offer the money if he was the majority owner, but he's not. I don't know that ownership group. I do think that Dallas could be another good fit for him. But I have someone else on the list I think is going to end up going to Dallas.
Okay. Nestor?
He should just launch his new PlayStation shoes and get some extra money there. Stay in LA. Make some money.
Make up his money that way.
Yeah. Collab with Kyrie Irving, those Red Dead Redemption shoes he's got.
Make him a Sony exclusive. Let's move on to Klay Thompson here, and we'll rotate around who goes first here. So I'm going to pull a little rabbit out of the hat here. I think a really good fit for Klay Thompson would be Memphis. If Golden State does not get in their feelings and decide to keep him for some strange reason, I think he could be a good decoy in Memphis, and just as far as keeping defenses honest, to stretch the floor a bit, and that would allow John Morant a bit more of a chance to play some 4-on-3 basketball and cut to the straight to the hoop, which he loves to do. Obviously, Klay Thompson's a shell of himself, but I still think that he's capable of, if you leave him wide open, he's just not the kind of guy that you're going to let him just shoot the ball wide open. Like, he's still going to keep guys on his hip and keep people honest. So I think Memphis would be a good fit for him. There's some other teams where he could go to, but it's kind of like, does he really want to go to like a San Antonio or Detroit at this point in his career? I can't see that. At least Memphis, there's some playoff chances there. So I'm going to go Grizzlies. What about you, Malin?
I actually think that if the Clippers can keep Paul George, I could see the Clippers and Steve Ballmer. Again, wildly rich, eccentric, crazy ass, offering someone like Klay Thompson enough money to get him to go to the Clippers to see if he could do something there. A lot of people have Klay Thompson tied to the Lakers, but I don't really see that happening. I think it's either going to be Golden State or a team that would give him a shot at getting another ring, but also pay him a shit ton of money. And I think the Clippers are one of those teams that are going to be desperate to pay somebody a shit ton of money if they can keep Paul George. Steve Ballmer's luxury tax, what? I don't give a shit.
Right.
So I could see the Clippers being one of those teams that now Ballmer's not going to do it if he doesn't keep somebody like Paul George. And he'd have to get one of these other free agents to be able to go there before he would offer it. But I mean, you think about Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson. I mean, that's the type of thing that could give Steve Ballmer wet dreams. Let's be honest. So I would say Clippers if they keep Paul George.
2K15 Dream Team.
There you go.
Nestor.
I mean, you could go 2K16. You could even go 2K18 on them. You can go 2K18.
Yeah, you can go 18. Yeah.
I mean, Kawhi won the chip in what, 2019?
Yeah.
You could even go that far then.
Nestor, where's Klay Thompson going?
He's definitely going to Miami. I'm just kidding. He's going to a team that needs him, needs a sharpshooter that can actually contend for a title. If they're almost there. They just need somebody else and Klay Thompson. Um, I feel like he could go to OKC because they're a strong team in the West. And they need his services. So I think OKC. And
if Klay Thompson goes to OKC, I'm buying a white van.
You something. You better start.
You better start getting a van.
I'm gonna buy me one of them Ford Eco 350s.
G Money, where's Klay Thompson going?
Writing this down.
Well, yeah, here's the interesting thing, right? Because before we started talking about this, I was on Sports Track looking at salary cap. And I'm like, every single NBA team right now is over the salary cap. And a majority of them are over the first apron of the luxury tax, and there are a few that are over the second apron of luxury tax, where basically it means that in tax and luxury tax, you're paying what you're paying salary-wise. So if you're paying $235 million, which the Golden State Warriors were for their team, you're also paying another $235 million in luxury tax.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know if the owner of Golden State wants to keep that team together anymore. But then he seems to think that money is no object. If my guess is he stays with Golden State. If not, I could see him going to Dallas. And the Malin's question is, who owns the majority of the Dallas Mavericks? That is Miriam Adelson. You might have heard of her husband, Sheldon Adelson, who owned the Venetian, the Palazzo, and
so she
they
has
sold
money.
that. She's worth in excess of $30 billion.
Yeah. So is she like in
No.
menopause or after menopause? Like, is she ready to spend the money, or is she being reasonable? What are we?
Oh, she's getting ready to die. She's getting ready to.
Okay.
I mean,
Spend
she
the
bought the
money.
Dallas Mavericks.
Spend the money.
You know, she wasn't leaving anything to
Spend
the
it.
kids. She bought the
Spend it.
she's like,
Fuck them kids.
she goes,
Nobody
she goes,
cares
I'm
about
like
kids.
78. My kids are worthless alcoholics. I'm buying
She's
the
way
Dallas
past menopause.
Mavericks. She goes,
She's about to buy a stock
And
of
now that we-
cobwebs.
yeah, you know. She goes, I'll have that cash buried with me.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, Dallas.
that's what I was saying.
Not a
I
bad
mean,
place.
Dallas would be a
Man,
good fit for
Play
him,
with
right?
Dallas.
That would be a great.
Yeah.
Play with Dallas.
Great
That'd
fit.
be. Wow.
All right, let's hit the next one.
Damn.
Tobias Harris. Malin, you can
Wait,
go
did Nestor
first.
go?
Yeah, he said OKC.
Oh yeah, he did. What an idiot. Okay. Continue.
That's why you were out getting ready to buy a white van.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna buy that Eco 350.
Tobias Harris, Malin, you are up first.
This has Lakers all over it. This is the type of signing that the Lakers would do, and they would do the press conference on the floor at the Crypto Arena behind the 17 banners. They'd be like, Tobias Harris is going to lead us to the promised land. That's the only team I could see like just going balls out. Like, this is our guy. So I mean, it's Tobias Harris, man. What do you want from me? What's he? He's going to the Lakers. What are we doing?
Nestor.
You know I'm right, Jalen.
I don't know. Apart from seeing the Lakers, hopefully, go play with Wemby down in San Antonio. Go play with Wemby for a while. Enjoy that those tornadoes down there that they're getting out of nowhere. Just enjoy your time down there. Just what do you have to lose?
Nobody,
besides-
Esther, nobody is signing in San Antonio, man. We've heard for years what the women look like down there in San Antonio from Charles Barkley. Like, nobody is going to San Antonio. Not
Wemby's
happening.
trying to get out of San Antonio as we speak.
I know, like, the women out there trying to grab his churro. Like, shit. Let's just, stop it.
G Money.
I could actually see him landing up in Milwaukee.
Ooh. Okay.
They could actually they could use a power forward coming off the bench. Actually, they could use him to spot Giannis, because Giannis. It's funny, right? Because Giannis is like a 4, but at times he plays a 5. You could rotate, and if you wanted to go big, you could play Giannis. Strangely enough, at the 3 and have Tobias playing the 4. Yeah, I could see that. I could see him. If Philly is going to go big and go after Paul George, I don't think they're going to have the money to really sign some of their own free agents. And I think that they'd be more than happy to let Tobias walk if they could get Paul George.
I think out of all these free agents, there's no team that's happier to get rid of somebody than the Sixers are to let Tobias Harris go, because he basically stole $180 million from the Philadelphia 76ers. He
Walking
did
scot-free.
not much, especially this past year. I completely forgot that he was even there. I could see him going to
I'm surprised.
back to Orlando. That seems like a pretty good fit. They could really use a forward who brings some sort of an offense. Like Nestor said, though, San Antonio, because they need just anything, or like Detroit, because they could just literally use anything, and they could pay him a bunch, which, yeah. But somewhere like Milwaukee or, a title contending team, it's just, I don't know. It's like if one of those teams, or if he thinks that he can fit and get the minutes on one of those teams, like, is he willing to take the back seat and come off the bench and say Milwaukee? I don't know. Orlando seems like he could have a bigger impact to me quickly, but
I forgot Orlando was even a team, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's funny though, because if this was the Lakers from a year ago, I'd say this is a Los Angeles Lakers easy. Like, this is just exactly what they would do. But I'd like to think they're a little smarter now. But I could be wrong.
No, they're not. Not smart.
James Harden. Nestor, we're going to start with you.
You did this on purpose. You
This
started
is the
first.
rotation, my friend.
He can go anywhere he wants. He can go anywhere he wants. Minus the Miami Heat. Don't want your Miami. Don't want that toxicity. We're gonna implode if he goes to Miami. I think we have.
It wasn't that
don't know.
bad.
No, it's not gonna work. I can just see it now. Hopefully he goes to the Suns. Love to see Devin Booker cry some more. I think he's a great fit. Man, go to Phoenix. It's gonna be great weather. You're gonna love it there. Devin Booker is a great crybaby, and then you have Kevin Durant down there. So he's gonna be a good friend.
Yeah, you do.
Go ahead.
G Money.
I see him staying with the Clippers. Clippers traded for him. They gave up draft picks and everything. I just see him staying there. Now, I don't know if he's going to be like he was in Philly, where he wanted a max deal, a max extension. If they'd be willing to do that. But if he would take 3 years and $160 million, then he stays with the Clippers. Otherwise, I think he sits around on the porch somewhere, waiting for an NBA team to call him. Because I don't think, I don't look at any team going like I've got to have him. That's what I need to get to the championship. I don't think there's a team out there.
Good.
You
choice
had
of
to say
words.
Porch. That's-
Yeah, I'm going to agree. It seems like the Clippers would be the best. Just stay there, stay out on the porch, as G Money says. Yeah, I don't see. There's no reason for him. Like he's already a good fit there. He had a great time in the playoffs, even though it was short. Even though I think ultimately he's a bad fit for the Clippers. He's a really good regular season ticket draw. But when it comes to, championship basketball, he's not a championship guard to me. I'm sorry. He's never displayed it his entire career. So Clippers are never going to win a ring with him. But, they want to sell tickets at the Intuit Dome. They'll give him some money. They get the value out of him. So he should stay in L.A. Go ahead, Malin.
Like, how is it that Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kevin Durant only have 2 championships between the 3 of them? And 2 of them came by Durant going...
Add Chris Paul. And then it's still got the
Warriors.
same
You
number.
can, you can add Chris Paul, and you know what? We're gonna add Devin Booker at some point too.
And one more State Farm commercial.
It's wild how talented those 3 were for the better part of a decade. And damn. He's, I don't want to say role player at best, but that's kind of what he is. Like to me, he's a 6th man again, which is crazy because he was the 6th man of the year when they went to the finals with OKC.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to finish his career as possibly the best 6th man. So with the money that's going to be offered, I'm actually going to I'm going to go ahead and say Dallas.
Wow.
I think if he were to go to Dallas with a little bit less money and be willing to come off the bench and spell someone like Kyrie Irving, I think that could be something that Dallas is missing a little bit. Minnesota could be another team. But realistically, like you guys said, he's probably going to stay with the Clippers. But he's not going to win a ring with them. He's going to... I think his legacy has pretty much already been told. But you know what? We said that about Alonzo Mourning, too. Before he won a ring with Shaq and Dwayne Wade. So, like, maybe he hitches his wagon to a surprise team in the West. That's able to, he's able to be like a supporting cast to win a ring. It's just you like we all thought that Russell Westbrook or James Harden would have won a ring at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last 13 years. But it never happened. That's kind of fucking crazy.
Nestor.
We're on James Harden?
Right. Oh, wait. I think you already went, right?
Yeah.
You went first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phoenix Suns. Don't go to Miami.
All right. G Money, we're going to start with you, and we're going to go Pascal Siakam.
I can see him staying at Indiana. Hell, they're over the salary cap too, so it's not like nobody spends money. They all spend money. But I think that ownership looks at what the team they have now and forgets about 2010 and so forth, and goes, yeah, no, we keep our players and we can win. But I think that he'll stay with Indiana. They'll offer him a max deal, and he'll think to himself that, hey, we came close. We could have beaten Boston. And that'll be their mantra to re-sign him and for him to re-sign with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. There's no reason that they should not bring him back. So I say he stays in Indy. Maitland.
I think he stays in Indy, but he's the only player on this entire list that I wish that Boston can grab somehow. But I know it's not going to happen. I think we're paying White $14 to $18 million a year. If we're paying him that much, we can't afford Siakam. So I think he's going to sign the max with Indiana, stay there, and be, I don't know, irrelevant, whatever. You do use Siakam.
Well, they'll be like you said. They'll be the 5th seed next year. They stay healthy.
Yeah.
They'll be the 5th seed. So they'll be in the playoffs. Their fans will be happy. They'll probably win a series, and then they'll be out.
And if they stay healthy and everyone else is injured, maybe they make a basket back to the Eastern Conference Final. So.
Maybe.
Nestor.
No, he's gonna stay. I feel like they know they have a strong foundation there with Halliburton, Nembhard, and Siakam just fits great. There's no tension there. Why take him out? So, yeah.
All right. Next is Gordon Hayward. I will go first here. Now, I know that he's got his feelings hurt, him and his wife, hearing that you're basically your boss made a mistake hiring you. That's one wants to hear that. But I think the only place that he can go is back to Utah. I don't see any other team that would have any interest in him at this point. He's a shell of himself. He was basically unplayable on the Thunder. But Utah would be a good story. They could use any help at this point, so why not bring him back and have a nice kind of swan song? You finish his career, veteran leadership in that locker room. I don't know. Go to the Jazz. That's the only option I can see there. But Maitland.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the what if type of players. Like, not on the same category as like a Derrick Rose. But that him and Kyrie going to Boston and then him breaking what was his foot? It was like a Paul George type of injury, that kind of a deal that happened. I mean, you would like to think that if that injury never happened and they were able to stay relevant the way they did, and then with Tatum and Brown, like what could have been. But he's been a shell of himself ever since he left Utah. So, you might as well go back and drown yourself in Salt Lake. I mean, why not? Like, what else are we going to do? At least if you drown yourself, you're going to float because of the density in the lake. So, I mean, there's a lot of salt. So we'll still find the body. But there's just nothing left. Like you said, he was unplayable at OKC with one of the youngest rosters in the NBA. Good guy, great guy, but I just don't think he has anything to offer at this point.
Nestor?
Gordon Hayward. The only organization, one of the few organizations I could think are stupid enough to, you know what, let's just put him on the bench. He can come out sometimes, and if he's good, he only add to the team. If he's bad, which he'll be bad, but Pacers. Pacers. I think the Pacers are dumb enough. Hear me out. I think the Pacers are dumb enough to do it. Otherwise, yeah, I can say Utah. But I think, he was in college, and he grew up there, so in Indiana, so he could go back. He could find his little swan song back there. Anyway, yeah, Pacers.
G Money.
The Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese Basketball League.
Oh my God. Oh,
I just don't see anybody signing him. I mean, I don't.
Oh shit. Oh,
All right.
I mean, realistically, the man's. You would be throwing away money signing him, even to the league minimum. You could use that money for something else, you know. So why? It's, you know, I just don't see him really signing with anyone. He's not at the beginning of the season. Maybe, yeah, Shanghai Sharks.
They're an actual fucking team.
They sure are.
Yes, they are.
Oh man.
Oh my god. That's an actual team.
Next player.
Oh, that logo is great though. It's
Yeah,
a shark fighting a tsunami, I think.
They are.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna
Oh.
go
Wait a second.
Kyle Lowry next.
Yao Ming played for them
Yes, he did.
before he played for the Rock.
Hmm.
His rookie year as a Shark.
That's how the Rockets. When they scouted him, they saw him playing.
Shit. Oh, who is that other guy I'm seeing right now? Who is number 2 for
Malin, you were up first for Kyle Lowry.
There's like a
I
Clay
am.
Thompson AI of him wearing
Oh
a
God,
Shanghai
I'm
Sharks
sorry.
jersey.
I'm down a rabbit hole right now. The Shanghai Sharks. Okay, so
Clay
Kyle
Thompson.
Lowry. I think he would be great with Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyle Lowry would be great with Philly. I think that's the perfect match for him. Him, Embiid, Maxey, get out of Chicago, please. Wait, he played for Chicago, right?
Yeah, he's in Philly right now.
No,
He's in Philly right
he's in
now.
Philly right now.
Mm.
Okay, so stay in Philly.
Yeah.
Resign. Just there's no. I don't think his family's on the East Coast. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a better fit right now than someone's going to offer him the money. So go ahead and stay in Philly. You, Maxey, Embiid, have some fun. Get bounced in the playoffs by the Celtics. But I don't think he's going to make better money anywhere else and have a better opportunity at a chip. Like, he would cost himself
Right.
like $30-40 million to go to a team without a guaranteed ring. So go ahead and stay in Philly.
I'm just gonna go real quick, just because I'm gonna ditto. He should stay right there. And I believe he's from Philly too, so it's like, why bother
shit,
at
he
this
is?
point? So
Yeah. Hey there.
Nestor.
I think the Clippers are gonna try and give Ty Lue one of two headaches. Several, not two, just two, several headaches, and this is gonna be one of them. I'm gonna try and get Kyle Lowry.
I like all of Nestor's possibilities are all these multiverse scenarios.
Yeah. I love it.
G Money.
Yeah, I think really, unless someone offers him a lot of money, which they shouldn't, stay in Philly. If Philly wants to re-sign him, see, that's the other thing too. I mean, if they let, and they should let Tobias Harris go, do you sign Kyle Lowry, and will he sign for the league minimum? For the veteran minimum, will he sign? You do a 1-year deal with him, so you can either sign Paul George to a max contract or try and trade Miami for Jimmy Butler at 35. I mean, so that being said, I can see them. I can see him, unless some team offers him a crap load of money, re-signing with Philly and staying there.
All right, DeMar DeRozan, Nestor, we're starting with you.
Told you guys are gonna try and get some headaches to Ty Lue. This is the other option to have DeMar DeRozan.
Don't
For the
act like he's
Clippers.
not going to go to Miami.
No, he's not. Nope. He's gonna go to the Clippers. I'm gonna manifest.
He's going to
this into the
Miami.
Universe.
You wouldn't take DeMar DeRozan right now.
No.
What?
No. I don't think
You're an
he's
idiot.
he's gonna take us towards where we need to go to. I don't
Well,
want
who's
another.
going to take you there?
I don't,
Tyler Hero.
fucking.
You don't
revamp
want
the
what?
whole damn
Another
thing.
Jimmy Butler? You don't want?
I didn't say that, but
G Money.
Is DeMar Rosen better than Jimmy Butler right now?
No.
Pretty close.
But you know
He's
what?
a comp.
You could pair him with Jimmy Butler,
Right.
and,
I'm
and
saying.
you'd have a really good. I mean, if I were DeMar DeRozan and you offered me a max deal, and I go down to Florida where I don't have to pay income tax, which means I save a lot more money, that's where I would go. Now, do I think Miami will do this? They're not big on signing other free agents. They're big on signing their own players. So I don't see that happening. I mean, I don't see them. I don't see him going to.
together the big three. And
Yeah, but that was those were all sign and
Signed
trade
Washington.
deals, so. And they were all sign
maybe
and
he'll be
trade
a
deals,
sign and
so
maybe he'll be a sign and trade.
doubtful. No, I see him. I mean, he would be a decent fit down in Miami, and they need another scoring option other than Jimmy Butler. Because as we saw in the playoffs, when Jimmy Butler was out, they really didn't have anybody who could step up and do it on a consistent basis, and that's what they need. That being said, and me saying that Miami would be a good fit, chances are he goes to Charlotte.
Gross.
Because they can definitely offer a max deal.
God,
Sure
they have
can.
they still have a team too.
They do.
I think Miami makes so much sense, but it's unfortunate because they just don't sign free agents like that anymore. It's just a damn shame, but also thank God, because that way, he's not a problem to the Celtics. But I do think that Philly is the other really big option. I think if they can't get Paul George, he's the kind of comp there. They're going to go after probably him or George, because Chicago is just not working out there. Like, Lonzo Ball is going to remain injured probably until the end of time. Vujacic did not work out as they thought. And at this point, you would think that he just wants to win a title, and that's not going to happen up in Chicago. So if he can just go on over to Philly, he's immediately on a contender, and he'd be a great, great third option alongside Maxey and Embiid. So I would think the Sixers. Malin, go ahead.
Yeah, Sixers are going to be the other team that I was going to go with. It makes sense playing style wise. To me, Sixers or Miami, but like you said, like Miami's not necessarily signing those types of free agents. But I do think that DeRozan could be one of those players that would do a sign and trade. We can get all the money he can and get traded to somebody, and he give up, minimal assets, to kind of get him. But he definitely doesn't want to end his career in Chicago. Chicago's not going anywhere. He's at least going to want to hitch his wagon to a team that at least has an outside shot. And the reason why I thought that Miami makes so much sense is that not only do they have, I don't want to say culture because I'm so sick and tired of fucking hearing about Heat culture. They haven't won anything in 12 years. Shut the fuck up. But they do have a history of going to the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals over the last 5 years. They're a team that when healthy, like if Jimmy Butler was healthy and they weren't playing Boston in the first round, could they have made a deeper run in the playoffs? Absolutely. So if that's the type of situation he wants to be in, that's why I was thinking Miami, but Philly would be the next option.
All right, last one, Buddy Hield. G Money, we're gonna start with you.
So wasn't he sitting at the end of the bench for the 76ers?
Yep.
Yeah, so his career is pretty much done. Yeah, once again, another one of my foreign friends. He's going to sign with the Taiwan Beer and play next to DeMarcus Cousins.
I think Buddy goes down to Houston. They are they could use any help possible. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. And Buddy Hield shoots like a career 40% from three. So why not bring him in? He could only help.
Wait, who? Where? Where's it going?
Houston.
Houston. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just Googling the Taiwan Beer. And yeah, they are a fucking team. They have a bear as their mascot, even though they're called the Beer. So Taiwan is obviously confused. They meant to put an A in there at some point, and they just missed the mark. That's awesome. First of all, Buddy Hield, is that not the whitest name for a black person you've ever heard in your life? Somebody, that's unfortunate. I didn't know who he was. I had to look him up, and when he turned up black, I was like, "Wow, that's like a Law and Order SVU mystery." Somebody, like, Vincent and Stabler need to get on that and figure out how that happened. Yeah, I don't know. I don't give a shit where he goes. Like, he's 31 years old. Retire. I don't give a shit.
Nestor.
He done. Go to Atlanta. There you go.
Sure.
Yeah, by the way,
Black man with a white name in Atlanta. What could go wrong?
G Money said he was going to
Taiwan Beer.
Taiwan Beer. I think he's gonna go to the Bank of Taiwan.
It's a real team.
He's gonna go to the Bank of Taiwan. That's
Bank of
Taiwanese team.
This logo is awesome for the Taiwan Beer, by the way. It looks like a fucking Pokemon. This is wild. And they were founded in 1968. That is insane.
Somebody was like really creative and high, and then somebody else was like Bank of Taiwan.
Yeah.
That's it.
You want to know what their first name was? The Taiwan Tobacco and Wine Monopoly Bureau Golden Dragons was the original name of the Taiwan beer. The Taiwan Tobacco and Wine Monopoly Bureau Golden Dragons.
Tropic Thunder type shit.
Holy shit. They are. Their head coaches, Cho Chun-san and shit. They are
Me too
affiliated
high.
with the Taiwan Beer Hero Bears. This is awesome.
All right, we need to end this.
Notable players. Wait, hold on. Notable players that have played for these people.
Evil Kim.
I can't pronounce a single fucking name. There's a guy named Patrick O'Brien and Walter Sharp and Troy Williams. Those were the most out of place people you've ever heard of in your life that played for these people. Want to talk about fish out of water? Son of a bitch. Everybody else.
DeMarcus Cousins plays for them. He's playing for them right now. Yeah,
Damn, I
DeMarcus Cousins.
I don't even see him on the list.
He's too recent.
Douglas Creighton.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
shit.
sure he loves living in Taiwan. That must be pretty cool.
Lucci meant like half of these fucking names is like something I would order at a goddamn Chinese restaurant. Like I would expect a pot sticker.
That bear does look like a Pokemon, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It does, doesn't it? He's an angry little fucker with the headband. They drew that logo up when LeBron James was wearing a headband. They're like, headbands are cool, man. And then LeBron James got his hair transplant. And they're like, fuck. We fucked up.
All right, let's move on to
Taiwan
the last.
Tobacco and Wine Monopoly Bureau of Golden Dragons. That is the name.
Rolls right off the tongue. Let's move on to the
The
last
fact that you
segment.
put Bureau in there, like the FBI has a team in America. That's what we're doing.
Now, what's up with that is usually a very lengthy topic, but we're gonna need to rapid fire this. So please try and keep it within 60 seconds, and just leave it short and sweet, please. So, G Money, we will start with you. What is your rapid fire? What's up with that this week?
English Football League, had me believing that Oxford United had been promoted to the Premier League. No, they got promoted to the Championship League. I'm like, Champions League? That's UEFA. They're playing Barcelona. They're playing freaking Ajax. They're playing Bayern Munich. Oh my fucking God. No, it's a division below the fucking Premier League. Fuck you, English Football League. And you're rebranding fucking everything.
Fuck you guys.
I'm sorry. That's really unfortunate. He was so happy a week ago.
Yeah. 7 days ago, he was singing a different tune.
Malin, what's
Maybe how sports can change a man. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and beat a dead horse here. The WNBA, can you get out of your fucking way? Like, can we stop with the Caitlin Clark bashing? She's number 5 in points scored in the WNBA. I don't give a shit if the team around her is absolute bullshit. She's actually doing a good job. And for all you racists out there, let's stop acting like Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark all of a sudden just because the Chicago Fire win in a few games. This girl is not as good as Caitlin Clark. She has nowhere near the stats. Like, let's just stop it. Can we just stop with the Caitlin Clark bullshit? Like, she's good. She's going to be great. Her team sucks. I'm sorry. It's like when Reggie Miller went to Indiana. What'd you want him to do? Win a championship with that goddamn roster? No. It wasn't going to fucking happen. So just stop. Caitlin Clark's fine. WNBA, stop eating your young. Enjoy your chartered flights because of Caitlin Clark. You now have leg room for your 6'5" asses. All right, so you're not gonna have any more fucking back problems. Just enjoy the life that she's giving you. That's all I'm saying. Calm down.
On that same note, I had to bring this up, and it's a perfect segue. The Chicago Sky finally brought down the Liberty on their undefeated streak, and their Instagram caption was Liberty Bibberty Cedric Diggerty. I'm sorry. Mind you, the Liberty were really banged up, and that's the only reason they beat them. But
yeah,
neither here nor there. Nestor, go ahead.
Well, keeping true to my past years in this segment, I have nothing negative to say. Although it was a rough season for my Barcelona, for my Miami Heat, even for my Dolphins. So
you got some disappointing.
What I will say is, I caught a little bit of that Formula One over the past few days ago, or wherever when the fuck it happened. And I found out Charles Leclerc won. Basically, in a nutshell, this kid has been trying to win for a while. Good kid. Finally won over in Monaco with Ferrari. Kid's living the life. His not his wife yet, but his girlfriend's drop dead gorgeous. So yeah, look up Charles Leclerc's girlfriend. She's incredible. So I'm happy for the dude. He's all over social media. He's a good kid. So I'm happy for him.
Nestor is married, by the way.
I was just looking.
Well, at least right now.
Happily married.
Jesus.
His name's Alexandra Saint Milou.
Yeah, Nestor is not exaggerating. Good for Charles. My what's up with that for the week? I'll keep it short here. I am pretty tired of hearing people saying that the Celtics are on a cakewalk to the finals because everybody they've played is injured and X, Y, and Z. The only reason people are saying that is in the event that they lose, because then that's what everybody's going to be talking about. But if we do win the finals, no one's going to remember that at all. It'll just be a tiny footnote on the bigger picture here, because no one remembers any of that stuff in the long run. Like, the only time people kind of look at the journey to the finals is when people put the asterisk next to the Lakers bubble ring. That's really it. So
Okay.
it's really annoying to me on that narrative.
I would just like to point out that Michael Jordan won his first NBA Finals when Magic Johnson had AIDS. So if we can just like stop the narrative of like when people win. If you win a championship and you're the best team the whole year, and then you go to the finals and you win, then you were the best team.
Right.
Just stop it. I don't know. I mean, you got to play who you go up against, right? So I mean, whatever. I don't know. I think that kind of argument is kind of dumb. A little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like G Money wants to say something about it before we go. He has that little itch. I can see it. I can see the glimmer.
No,
in G Money's
I mean,
eyes.
I mean, I agree. You have to beat whoever's in front of you, and that's what Boston did. And let's not forget that Porzingis was out for most of the playoffs, and nobody talks about that. Well, you know, I mean, Boston did what Boston had to do, and actually, Boston was a lot better this year, and in these playoffs than they were last year. They had more maturity when they played. They didn't make stupid mistakes. They played well, and my God, if someone does not cover Al Horford at the top of the key and in the corners, that man is just going to make threes all goddamn day.
It's pretty nice. I hope that-
Does
No, they
anybody? Let me ask you this, guys. Does anybody say that the first time the Cavaliers went to the finals with LeBron James,
Thank you.
that Golden State did not, like, Irving was hurt, Love was hurt. It was LeBron James and I think a Serbian. I think he was Serbian. I don't know. He might have been not. What was his name? I don't even remember his goddamn name.
Is it Matthew Dellavedova?
Oh yeah, Dellavedova.
Oh,
Holy
you're thinking of
shit,
the
are we
big
giving
guy.
him some fucking credit right now? Yeah, I think I got COVID just saying his name. But anyways, like, no one discredits that win by the Golden State Warriors beating LeBron James and
Right.
Dellavedova, for God's sakes. I mean, you beat who's in front of you. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you win, you win.
Right.
Like, part of the testament of a championship team is, staying healthy and playing your best. And right now, the Celtics are playing their best. So if they win the championship, anyone that wants to say anything, go fuck themselves. I will,
Now, if they win-
proudly buy my merch, just like I will continue the NBA Finals. For the Eastern Conference Finals, I wore my 2008 Locker Room Championship Celtics t-shirt. It still fits, people. Still fits. I lost a
it
lot
looks
of
a little
weight.
tight.
And then, I lost a lot of weight, then I gained a lot of weight, and now it's back to fitting the way it did when I first bought it. But it still fits. Still fits.
I just wonder if you guys are going to become public enemy. Number one, now that LeBron is not even going to be in the conversation, and all these LeBron haters, where are they going to go? So it's just the whole social media. Because every time you go, you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna love it. I have no issue with it. By the way, I love to see the Heat try and do something in the next few years, but I also have no issue with.
I think Boston would have to win 2 titles. to get that. I think if they win one title,
Get that
it'll be
Patriots
like,
type of
all
hate.
right, Tatum
Right.
and Brown, they finally broke through. They won it. If they go through and win another one, then they're going to be like the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Where they're like, well, you've gone to the East Conference Finals. Now you've won a couple championships. Now we all hate you, and you're Boston.
I feel like people
You're a
love
bunch
Golden
of
State, though.
racists.
People really
no,
sucked
people
up Golden
hated
State for a
Golden
while.
State.
No,
No,
once they
after
got KD, that was
when they beat Cleveland when it was LeBron James and Dellavedova, they hated, especially after everyone wanted Cleveland to win that series.
right
Coming
when they
back
came
from 3-1. And then everyone hated them after they got Kevin Durant. Like they were like, you can only win for so long before you're hated. That's what happened with the Patriots. You win a few rings, everybody's gonna hate you, and everyone wants to see you. Same thing happened with Golden State. Same thing happened with the Houston Astros. Now the Houston Astros cheated, so of course we want.
Yeah,
them to
that's
die.
different.
I
mean,
we want, but even so, even if they didn't cheat, and they had won like a couple rings, like they were the swan song in 2017. But if they'd have kept winning, everyone would have been tired of them. Everybody loves the start of a dynasty, but once you're a dynasty, they fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Because they want to be you. So that's just how it is in every sport. Like everyone hates the Chiefs now.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody hates the Chiefs. Like
That's
Patrick
legitimate.
Mahomes is new Tom Brady. They're like, fucking fail, bitch.
No.
We hate you. Like half the country wants, Chelsea to choke out Taylor Swift. I swear to God. Like it's just they just want drama. They want something bad to happen. So
But usually, Nestor does raise a good point, though. Usually, the bronzexuals are the first people on that hate train. Like they're the ones at the charge, and then everybody else kind of follows behind them. But
no, but that's always happened. Everyone hated the Lakers when Kobe and Shaq were winning. Like everyone hated them.
yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Like if you're a great team and you win multiple championships, they like you in the beginning, but they hate you in the middle, and they're glad that your dynasty is done. That's just how it is, man. Like everyone loved the 49ers back in the early 80s, and then after they beat the brakes off the Broncos, everyone's like, okay, Joe Montana died, and he gets his elbow broken by the Giants, and then, whatever. Like everybody hated the Cowboys and their dynasty. Like you don't like dynasties. You like it when it starts. But America loves to build people up to tear them down.
That is very
We love
true.
it, and that's in sports, that's in music, that's in movies, everything. We love you until you're too good, and then we really love the media when you fail.
People love Golden State, and I hated it. They especially those people that tend to be like kind of neutrals, or they kind of on the low key, and then they're like kind of like Lakers fans just because it sounds cool to say they're Lakers fans with the jerseys and shit. Those are people. I'm not gonna get into those conversations. I had a lot of friends from specific areas. They're all about the Lakers. As soon as fucking Golden State started winning championships, they're all about Golden State.
There's not a single thing you could ever say, Nestor, that's not going to make you sound like a butthurt Heat fan, though. Like you just any team that you hate in the NBA because you're a Heat fan.
I even give credit to you guys, and I should be hating the Celtics just because you guys are just
should
Celtics.
better.
But I don't hate them. I don't hate the Celtics.
You really?
Well,
no, not at all.
You don't
Not
hate
even a
us?
smidge.
When you guys get
Not a smidge.
Not even a
it won't
smidge.
matter. When you guys get Gordon
This is why I
Hayward,
need Shaq back on the show, though. This is why I need
Smidge like it
Shaq
won't
back
matter.
on the show because Shaq would
Not
like
Golden State.
throw up,
Chiefs.
and the Earth would move off its axis if he threw up. There'd be a tsunami somewhere. Fucking crazy.
Taiwan beer.
Yeah.
All right.
I want beer, man.
I think in 2 years I'll be.
I can't believe I had to
Change
look
my
up
mind
both
about
those
this.
teams that G Money. I can't believe they're both real.
You know who won the championship in 2022? Bank of Taiwan.
No, there's a dynasty you can hate on.
I just can't. Again, the Taiwan Tobacco and Wine Monopoly Bureau Golden Dragons. That's a fucking name.
I heard a guy named Tyler Hero's going to that.
He probably will be.
If he keeps his
I mean, it looks like the logo looks like LeBron James mixed with the Memphis Grizzlies. Is what the logo looks like with a little bit of Pokemon.
Right.
Like Pikachu, LeBron James, and the Memphis Grizzlies is what this logo looks like. I'm looking at
I
it
heard
right
they're gonna
now.
draft Dwayne Wade's son. The oldest one. Come on, guys. I'm not trying to say the oldest one. The one that's playing in. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go there. The oldest one. Not the
We need to get out of here.
Let's
We're
end
just
this
going
show.
rabbit hole after rabbit hole at this point.
Folks, I want to thank you for watching, listening. Next week, we'll be giving our finals predictions because the finals start next Thursday, so we'll be right.
Celtics in 5.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jump the gun. Okay.
We hope you all have a great week. Remember to follow us on social media at AFR Sports. We'll talk to you all next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.